Hey, Anirudh. Thanks so much for the really great question. And I wanted to provide a video here to give you some context. So it's not like you'll buy my data and I'm like, here are all the insights. Those insights have to come from you. So what I did is I spent some time with Eli to mine some of my data to give you some examples of the types of insights that we could pull for you. So what I did is I looked at all titles, people, culture, HR, performance, talent, and human in the last 300 days. And then I said, I don't want titles that involve acquisition, recruiting, or sourcing, right? So just kind of your ideal titles. And then I found keywords. So I want to know if they care about HRIS or HCM. I want to know if they talk about implement. I want to know if they're using Lattice, Culture Amp, Bamboo, UKG. I want to know if they're using Workday. Eli said that rapid growth was really important. So they talk about like, hey, we have an organization that's growing rapidly. He said that better fit companies are in India and Asia, but he didn't want to work with companies that are in China. So this is just an index of my data from the last 300 days. These are the total number of jobs that mention either HRIS or HCM. A lot of them talk about implement, and this is like some examples of those keywords. So if I search for implement, you can see it's like implementation of HRA plans, projects, and programs, right? So now you could kind of tell that and run a campaign accordingly. Implement new benefits programs, right? That might be super interesting to you. So now you have some understanding. Maybe that's not a good fit for you because you don't do benefits right now. Then I looked at tools, right? So how many folks have the ideal tools that you care about? Bad fit, I guess, is that if they already have Workday. So these are folks that you never have to prospect to because you already know that they have Workday. Or you never have to prospect to until you get to a place where you can replace Workday. What are fast-growing companies? So not only can I tell that in their job descriptions, but I know how many titles are on the market, something you could never do with outsourcers because titles open and close all the time. So I can not only tell you who's implementing systems now, how fast they're growing, how fast they're planning to grow, but also I can do that for the entire market. So this is the thing that you could never do with outsourced talent is that you can't have coverage every day for the entire market. Really hard to do with outsourcers. You can't find out what is the prevalence of this problem in the entire market, right? How many people across the market are talking about implementation systems, right? And how do they speak about their problem? The other thing that's really hard to do at scale is to be able to figure out what is the magnitude of that problem across the entire market. And how do you make sure that if you're testing things systematically, that what you're testing works? And so you may have individual success from a rep, but it's really hard to take those individual successes and say, great, how does this work at scale? And at scale, how do you know what you should test next? So those are all things that you can get with my data. This is just an example of some of the things that we can report, spending 20 minutes with Eli. There's a lot more information that we can pull from you. One example of something that we could test is who's responsible for implementing a new HRS or HCM system, and then we can actually match a closed job, a job in the past, a job that your outsourcers could never get access to, and see who took that job. So now I know someone that started recently and what they're responsible for. Those are the types of campaigns you can run with Blueprint. Thanks so much for taking the time to watch this video and for your great questions.